Hey guys, welcome back to Batch Makers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share.
In that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us. Enjoy this episode. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Batch Makers, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. Lizzie is not here today. She hasn't been here for a couple weeks, and we did want to touch on that just for a second at the top of the show. As you know, we mentioned last episode, she's been working on Monday, so she hasn't been there for a couple weeks. And just this past weekend, we actually got information that Lizzie is fighting a pretty serious and scary medical situation right now. So we've been in contact with her family and everything, getting updates daily. But really, we don't want to go into too many details, but basically just want to ask you guys, our amazing Batchmaker fans, to just send a lot of love, support, and prayers her way for her and her family, because things are scary. So we want to send them as much love as possible. So please keep her and her family in your prayers. Send a lot of support that way. We would really appreciate it. And we're going to do the same here. We can't do this show without her. She's a huge part of the show, especially behind the scenes stuff that you don't see. So we will do our best to continue to provide this content for you guys. But just know, Batchmaker family's hurting a little bit right now, but we're going to send a lot of love and support her way as much as we can. And we appreciate you guys doing the same. So I know, tough kind of note to start the show off, but we wanted to get that out there. Mike, we've got 2 days worth of episodes to get through today. A lot to tackle. Overall thoughts these last 2 days?
Well, I actually wasn't able to watch yesterday's live, so I had to watch it during work today.
You took all that in, 4 hours of content today?
Yeah, all of it was today for me.
Tough.
I didn't watch a single. I saw some Instagram stories from yours last night, but watched all of Fantasy Suites at about 10 a.m. this morning. Mainly listened to it, actually. I was working and kind of had it up, but I was in office, so I didn't want anybody walking by and see Jenn and Jonathan making out on my screen or something. So I tried to hide it a bit. But yeah, I mean, Fantasy Suites, I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite episode in any season. But Men Tell All is always, I think, pretty fire. But it's fire, but dragged on. All of the dramas in a span of 20, 30 minutes max. They could really make it an hour. Like all those reality TV reunion shows are an hour max. Let's shorten it.
Yeah, this felt like a long episode. There were some great moments, and moments I'm glad we got, but this felt like it was 3 hours long. The whole tell-all situation. There's so much they packed into these 2 hours, but it did drag on a little bit. I felt like there were moments we could have cut, and we could have hour and a half. I think we would have been okay with today. But before we get into all the show stuff, we have pre-show stuff we got to talk about. First and foremost, happy birthday to the first probably official friend of the program, number one Hall of Fame in the Batchmaker's eyes. Let's give it up for Maria. Happy birthday, Maria. Do you want to sing?
Happy birthday to you.
Speed it up a little bit. Happy birthday to you. A little faster. Happy birthday, dear Maria. Happy birthday to you. Woo! All right, happy birthday, Maria. We love you. Happy 30th. Don't look a day over 22 in our eyes. Maria, we love you, and we'll get you on for a full interview here shortly, as soon as we can. But we want to make sure we do that. A few other points we got to get to. Michael, congratulations are in store. You have won this season of the Batchmaker League. You have pulled ahead, and there's no catching up to you. Congratulations, I guess. Now, what is this, 2-time champion for you now? You got 2 rings?
First since the expansion.
First since the expansion league. Now they always say, you know what they say about sports, the third ring's the hardest.
Yeah.
Everyone always says that. Second one's the easiest. So I guess congrats. I'm still chasing my second. I feel good about where we're at for the Golden Bachelorette. I think I'm gonna get it there. I really do. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'll give you your flowers. What would you like to say about your team's performance this season?
I'm good at drafting dudes. I think that's the takeaway here, and I think that's really going to catapult me into getting that dynasty third ring with the Golden Dudes. Because hey, guys just get better with age, or like fine wine, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the Golden Draft. Shout out Bailey's Bros though. Everybody listened to Coach, went out there, and just performed. We now and I'd like to mention that not only do we have the next Bachelor too, we have the first two invites to Paradise already. Bailey's Bros are winning like nonstop. Now we didn't win Jen's heart, so but overall in life and in following and social media following, so some of my guys, we're doing great. All right, so I draft. I know how hot dudes are. I know hot dudes.
True. That's one thing I always say. People always ask me, I'm on the streets, like, oh, Wyatt from Batchmakers. What's Michael like? I'm like, well, he's great co-host. He knows dudes. He really knows dudes.
No, yeah, you gotta be a hot dude to know a hot dude. That's what they say, right?
That's what's
Pretty
up.
sure that's what they say.
That's what they say. What would you like to say to the allegations that maybe you're building a super team and then it's almost unlikable because you had so many heavy hitters this year? Like some would say 72-10 Warriors, where super team didn't win Jen's heart, didn't win the ring that year. I know you got a ring, but what would you like to say to those allegations? Because people are talking about that on the dark web.
Well, now we're bringing in KD. That's what I'm saying today.
You want to tip your pitch? Who's your KD? Kelsey's dad?
Well, I probably won't have to pick for him because realistically, I'll probably have last.
Kelsey's dad, KD. Whoa.
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 I mean, but actually, he's the consensus number one. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go number one. Yeah, no.
That's right around the corner. We will be doing PowerPoints for the Golden Dudes here shortly, and then we'll have our draft soon thereafter. So, yeah, that's right around the corner. Very excited for that league. But congratulations, Mike. Well done.
Thank you.
I'll tip the cap.
Thank you.
Speaking of competition, we are now going from enemies to teammates because tomorrow and today, if you're watching this on YouTube, just tomorrow from when we're recording this, we will be having our fantasy football draft, competing against the likes of Brett, of Autumn, Dylan B, the new Dylan B, not the old Dylan. Out with the old, in with the new. We got the new Dylan B, new and improved. And Sean is also in that league. And Austin, who we will talk about, who was not at the tell-all today, is also in our league. So we will be competing against them. Stay tuned for draft content because we'll be having a little draft room conversation. And I don't know. What do we think, Mike? Obviously, no draft order is set. How do you think we're going to do as co-commissioners here?
I think it's going to be a shit show between you and I. I think we have very different opinions on a lot of things. Clearly, I'm good at drafting, and you're not.
I won last season, so we're the two defending champs. This is like LeBron and Steph joining teams. We're going for the Olympics here.
Okay, yeah, I guess we could be USA.
Yeah, I need that mindset from you. I need positive.
Okay.
We can't be against each other already. We haven't even.
I'm just, I personally won't have any bias towards, let's just say, people in purple.
If we have a top 3 pick, we're taking Justin Jefferson.
I disagree.
Okay. This is not going to go well.
Case in point, Sam Darnold.
Round 2. We can take Darnold in round 2. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Let's move on from this, and we can save this for the Zoom call.
Yeah. So
I don't know how we're going to talk if we're in a Zoom call with other people.
So I think we text each other on the side, so we can start playing smoke screens. It's going to be smoke screen city. It's gonna be chaos, but I think it'll be really fun content. So stay tuned for that later in the week. And one more pre-show thing I want to get to. Did you see any of this Caitlyn Bristow stuff?
Caitlyn, I saw like one TikTok. I was kind of confused. She's like, she asked to date somebody that went on somebody else's season, and that person was really like against it, even though it was so long ago. But now they're still dating. I think
Yeah.
something like that.
So
It seems pretty petty for what being, I don't know, 30-year-olds.
well, here's the thing. So it was Tayshia. So Tayshia and Zach got ended their Tayshia season together, and Caitlyn
Oh,
and
they're engaged.
Tayshia, yes, Caitlyn and Tayshia were the co-hosts when Chris Harrison got fired. So they were like best pals and doing all their stuff together. And then very recently, after Caitlyn and Jason broke up and Tayshia and Zach broke up, Caitlyn was seen out with Zach, Tayshia's ex. And that created a whole little shit show. And then Caitlyn went on a podcast and said some unflattering words towards Caitlyn. And she reached out to Tayshia. Tayshia was not happy with her, how she handled things. And Caitlyn's may or may not have said, you know what? I was so upset how she handled it. I wanted to send a picture to her sucking his dick.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. I heard that clip.
I went on a date with somebody from the franchise, and I reached out to the girl that he used to be with.
So the text was,
I said,
how did the text go?
I said, hey, so-and-so DM'd me.
Your ex DM'd me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've been chatting. I said, I know you're really happy in a relationship. So I
Great way to
actually,
phrase it.
Great,
so I
good
said,
move.
I don't actually know if this would bother you or not. She said, I always knew you were a bad person.
Oh, no.
And you've confirmed it. I hung up and I went, no, I just want to send her a picture of me sucking his.
Next time, keep it to yourself. Didn't need to hear that. That felt like a weird fourth wall break where I'm like, you're from Bachelor Nation. You're not allowed to say those words. It felt like hearing like your parents cuss for the first time. It's like, whoa, I didn't know you were allowed to say that.
Yeah. Weird situation. I guess girl code. I'm not too familiar with that.
Haven't read up. I haven't read the new edition.
Yeah, have not. I'm still on the first testament of that. Yeah, but go crazy. Steal her, man. I guess if there's not a ring on her finger,
Go stupid, go crazy.
Go crazy, I guess. But
we'll keep tabs on that. That'll be good off-season stuff to look at because Caitlyn and Tayshia, they appeared to be very close when they were hosting together, and then they both have said basically like we're not friends. So I don't know what that's all about. But let's get into this episode, these last two episodes, and the only way we can do it is by starting off with our poem because we lost a soldier this week, and anyone who makes hometowns, just like last week, Jeremy got a poem, and our boy Jonathan gets a poem. So, Mike, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Everyone, please quiet in the crowd. And, okay, I'm reading back over this. I did write this one today. I'm going to say that. I have a line in here. I don't know if I'm ready to say out loud to other people. I might bleep this out from the episode, but let's just go into it. Here we go.
I'm scared.
Cue the sad music, please. Thank you. Johnny Jonathan to say I can't even I just keep thinking ahead. Never mind. Here we go. Johnny Jonathan. Today we say goodbye to him. Johnny Jonathan. What a wild ride it's been. You showed up to the mansion in full disguise. Little did we know you'd become one of our favorite guys. Please don't be sad. There's no need to pout. Walk off this show with your head held high and that dump truck hanging out. In the spirit of fantasy suites, your exit came quick. Guess Jenn wasn't used to a real man's stick.
Bruh!
It's not your fault. You'd be any woman's dream. What girl could say no to that 3-inch inseam? I know we'll meet again. Hopefully it won't be long. But until then, Jiggity John is jiggity gone.
That was fire. I'll give it to you. That was the best one you've ever written in 2 seasons. That was some bars right
Oh
there.
my
That was
God.
bars. That was
The
bars.
fantasy suite
Which
came quick. Oh,
that was where you want to bleep?
it was in the spirit of fantasy suites, your exit came quick.
Yeah, no, I get
Guess
the
Jen
reference.
wasn't used to a real man's stick.
Yeah, again, I get the reference.
I didn't want to
get the
say that.
dirty joke. That's not a cuss word. I mean,
I know it felt weird to say out loud, and I didn't want to say it, but I said it.
I mean, she said it on national television.
Yeah, but mine was more intentional. And then followed up with the 3-inch inseam. Dramatic pause.
Yeah.
All right,
probably
well,
more than 5-inch inseam that got hyped up
hey,
a bit.
Jonathan, we'll miss you. It's been a pleasure. I feel like we haven't
MVP.
said much about Jonathan this show because we haven't had to. He's kind of been perfect. And we'll get to more Jonathan when we get to the tell-all in the episode. But Jonathan, you'll be missed. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Let's hop in to some quotes before we go through the detail. Hey, yo. What
Propped my phone up and just fell, and I saved it. Hands.
What quotes do you have? I have just basically one written
Which
down.
one? From Fantasy Suites?
Yeah, from any, honestly. And we can talk about tell-all quotes as we kind of go through the tell-all, so maybe just stick to Fantasy Suites.
I have kind of a lot.
Okay, rip through them.
I believe it was her date with Devin. It's crazy how blue the water is. And then she goes to Devin. It's crazy how blue your eyes are.
It's crazy how blue the water is.
Crazy is how blue your eyes are.
Wow.
Not blue.
Not blue at all.
Riz, Jen.
He has brown eyes.
Riz. Really?
Yeah. They joked about that. He doesn't even have blue eyes.
Did I miss that part after?
I think you were too busy cringing at the
I was
quote.
too busy probably opening my notes app and writing it down.
Yeah,
I was like, that's so cringe.
He very much doesn't have blue eyes.
Then sometime a good thing is a good thing. Jen's, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of like
That's
main
do
thing.
we have to
main
make
thing.
do we have to make new shirts?
That's like, it was kind of the reference. I was like, whoa, they're kind of using, a little callback there, I think. And then Jonathan on their date, they got like these pastries, these donuts.
Mm-hmm.
And his cut to the camera was like, it was worth the cheat day for sure.
Worth the cheat day for sure. You ready?
And I just like felt that. I was like, you know what? Yeah, dude, hell yeah. You're out here. Of course, man. You're
Only
on
Jonathan
Bachelorette.
in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, fantasy suites, like, yeah, dude, maybe have a donut or two. Like, I think it's worth it. I think you can, burn off the cards in fantasy suites, if you know what I mean.
Nice. One thing, my one quote comes from or based off Hawaii as well. This is from Jen. It's on our date with Devin. She said, I could see Devin and I doing this in the future.
I could see Devin and I doing this in the future, coming to a beautiful island like this with our kids.
Granted, she is referring to a helicopter ride around the island of Hawaii. Now, normally when you say something like that, you're referring to like a nice simple picnic. Like, oh, I could see us doing this. I don't know what the retirement package is for the Bachelorette, but if you could like, oh, I could see us doing this. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not a normal thing.
ABC sending Charity Dotton to Greece again. So I did have another quote from Jen and Marcus's date.
Yeah.
Jen said, I want to be a mermaid. And then Marcus said, you kind of look like one today. And I was like,
oh,
just like, what? I was just so confused. I was like, mermaids have fishtails. And Jen doesn't have a fishtail right now. Silly
what did he say? He said something about she looked like a Ferrari. She's like, it's sexy, like a Ferrari. She had like a red dress during the night.
Oh, yeah.
And Marcus at all times feels like he's he's in a different generation than Jen.
Yeah.
And he's trying to relate to her. Like he's trying to like speak Gen Z to her. It just feels like there's a disconnect there in like the language that's being used. Yeah. You have any other quotes?
No, I think that was all.
All right, let's hop into it. We got fantasy suites. They are in the island of Hawaii, which I didn't realize. I Googled this. There's the island of Hawaii in Hawaii. So they kept saying we're on the island of Hawaii. I was like, that's just Hawaii. Nope. Fact checked myself. There is an island of Hawaii in Hawaii. It's like having I don't know, like the capital be the country in some places, like the capital, whatever. Anyway,
New York.
yeah, great point. That's why we
Thank
have you
you.
here, Mike. Fantasy suites. So everyone just gets to play golf with Jesse. This was Jesse's highlight reel. This whole episode was a Jesse clinic. He was cooking this episode. I love to see it.
Yeah, he literally got to have a week vacation in Hawaii. I guess maybe 2-week vacation in Hawaii. Probably get in. I'll bet he got in like 8 rounds of golf in total in the 2 weeks. He probably got in 8 rounds of golf paid for by ABC, and just was doing his thing. And he's kind of just a mentor now. He's kind of just chilling, like, oh yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah. You're a really good dude. Cool. How do you feel?
You're an inspiration.
Nice.
As you said to Marcus.
Yeah. And then and then he just goes and golfs and probably watches some college football to get ready.
Yeah. It is crazy. I tweeted out from the Batchmaker account. It was Jesse's the only person in the world who can say, oh, I'm going on a work trip and mean it. And he's just going golfing in Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a work trip for him. What a life. What a life Jesse lives. And he I would say earned his salary this episode. The fantasy suites and the tell-all. He kind of crushed it. Jesse stepped up to the plate. He saw the chatter online of like, do we even need a host? Do we need a Jesse? Jesse stepped up to the plate and he kind of owned it this episode. I did like how him and Marcus, when they had their meaningful, deep conversation, it zoomed out, wide shot, they were 20 yards apart.
Yeah, it was like the 0.5 lens, on a camera. Yeah. And you like trying to take selfies of your friends and they look all weird because they're in 0.5.
Yeah.
Because they probably weren't that far apart. Like driving range, they're probably, right next to each other, but it made it look really weird, but kind of scenic, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I like them experimenting with different views.
Devin's fantasy date, when again, every date at this point on The Bachelor or Bachelorette is just either a helicopter or a hot tub. They take a helicopter ride, and it looked just like the opening scene of Jurassic Park with like the waterfall in the background. It was right out of Jurassic Park. They were all over each other in this helicopter. They were biting each other, literally, in this helicopter ride. This was the moment where I think we've talked about before. We talked about last week. We're like, wait, is Devin actually going to win this thing? That made me see it. I was like, okay, Devin's kind of in the driver's seat for real this time, because she does very much enjoy being around Devin. They did have a full, but when they got out of the helicopter at the waterfall, Devin had the bucket of champagne. They made out, and then they got back on the helicopter and picnicked somewhere else. It's like they opted out of the waterfall scenery because they got out, made out. Devin literally had the bucket of champagne in his hand, and then it just cut. They got back on the helicopter and then had their picnic somewhere else, which was very strange. I was like, I think the shot wasn't set up right, and they're like, you know what? Let's just move somewhere else, which was very weird to me.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all, but the champagne.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm sure the producers have backup plans on backup plans if something doesn't look kind of romantic.
And speaking of Devin, I do want to call attention to this. If you follow us on TikTok, you saw this. Devin's tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm still down this rabbit hole. I don't know what's the truth at this point because I've had people point out more details. So here's the thing. Devin has this giant tattoo, like a full paragraph, looks like a Bible verse on the side. And you could see it when they were making out in the water. And that made me think, I don't remember seeing that before. So I went back to pictures of the strip Magic Mike date. Tattoo's not there. And I was so confused on why either ABC edited it out, either I'm dumb and missed it, or Devin got a tattoo mid-season, which would be the funniest thing of all time, which I don't think happened. Where do you stand on Tattoo Gate?
Well, I think somebody commented on your TikTok about it, and said a picture from 2017 on his Instagram has the tattoo. And so that makes me, well, it kind of rules out the whole getting a tattoo midseason.
It's true.
Even though I was kind of hoping
Can
that
you
would be it.
imagine? That would be
If
incredible.
he like just like went, a couple of the guys just like got a tattoo and, you know, I don't know, there's a group date going on or something. But now I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe just angle of when he was like dancing to Jen, it just never showed it. But I think we need to do a deeper dive into that episode and watch those guys strip again.
The things we do. I guess we'll have to go back. We'll have to watch all these guys strip.
Oh no,
honey! I'm just doing research. Don't for work. Honey, close the door.
With weeks ago, sweetie. It's an investigation. But it's Tattoo Gate. It's all the rave right now.
I don't yell at you when you're doing work. You're just like zooming in on Devin stripping. All right. And then Devin's fantasy suite date ends with them going to the fantasy suites. I did love how they both said, I'm game to go to fantasy suites. That's got to be a bachelorette first. A lot of old bachelor heads are probably very confused when they said that. They're like, what does that mean? What game? What game? What game are we playing?
Talking about?
We're not playing any games. This is love. So they do their thing. Fantasy suites. Wake up. Jen says Devin is better than Pete Davidson in all ways.
As Jen and Pete Davidson, has that like that's crazy.
In all ways?
Yeah.
Devin's a funny guy. Pete Davidson's a little fun. Makes a living telling jokes and ha-has. So
yeah, that was crazy that I think they kept that in. Realistically, I mean, production, they've been letting some slang words go by, some cuss words go by, and that's a comment that they let go by. And hey, more power to Jenn, I guess, for having the balls to say that.
Yep. Jonathan's fantasy suite date, basically just a carbon copy of Devin's. Helicopter, waterfall, repeat, rinse, repeat.
Yep.
The only thing I wrote down from this date, again, this is just a theme all season where we go through all the dates. Jonathan's come up, and I have like no notes because nothing dramatic happens because Jonathan's awesome. And so we're just kind of left with, oh yeah, Jonathan's cool. Jonathan's a cool dude. I did write he apologized for cussing at one point. He broke the fourth wall. I think he said fuck. And then he just like looked at the camera and was like, my bad.
No. Sorry. No.
Which is a weird moment just because they're having this very like intimate conversation. He's like, oh, by the way, there's 30 people in this room. I apologize. Which was funny. But Jonathan's great. I love Jonathan.
Yeah. I didn't really have any notes on his date either. It was pretty cupcake or donut. Huh.
Yeah. Marcus's fantasy suite date. We had the golfing with Jesse, and Jen said pretty early on this date that she is in love with Marcus. Something she has not said to anyone else.
She's it's crazy. Like she's like love bombing him.
Yeah.
I mean, all he has to do is say I love you, and this man probably has a ring on his finger, and she has a ring on hers.
And
I think that's all it takes.
And he does not want to say it.
I know.
He's said in 12 different ways, by the way, I'm not in love with you. And Jen's like, I don't care. Because
I might not get there, but I don't want to give up on us.
And the way they edited their conversation at dinner, I thought he was about to leave.
Yeah.
And he was just building all of that up to say, hey, by the way, I'm not in love with you. And Jen was like, want to go to fantasy suites?
And he's like,
yeah.
Sure. I mean, we can find some stuff to do in there.
It's kind of the Daisy effect from last season where I think Marcus just doesn't like Jen like that. And she ends up in the final two somehow. And Marcus ends up in the final two somehow.
Yeah. And I think he's maybe a little bit more of a realist, because this process is very short. And so maybe he is starting to like her, but he can't be like, I can marry you right now. Like, maybe he's just like, I can't do it right now. And
Mm-hmm.
she is definitely farther along than him right now. And well, we'll see where it goes. Maybe he gets there and, literally the last 3 days or 4 days of filming, that's in between Fantasy Suites and the engagement. But
We have joked about the never before seen ending for this season being Jenn proposing, like Jenn getting down on a knee. If she does that, it feels like it'd be Marcus, where like Marcus doesn't say that he loves Jenn at all. Jenn is in love with Marcus, and Jenn says, "Screw it, I'll do it myself." Grabs the ring, gets down on a knee, like, "Please, please."
And then he says no.
Oh man. First ever Bachelorette proposing and doesn't go well. That'd be tough. That'd be tough for our girl Jenn. And then it
never before seen.
It wraps up that episode, the Fantasy Suite episode, with the same cliffhanger that it opened up with. And it pisses me off so much when they do this because it's such a slap in the face to the audience because they know we're going to be back tomorrow. So they open up with the Devin knocking the door, Jenn opening it. What's going to happen here? And then they close with that same thing and say, "Come back tomorrow, little bitches." And we do. Just like good little pups, we show up the next day, sit in front of our TV, and watch 2 hours of this television show again. ABC, I want to say it's not going to work on me again. It's probably going to work on me again. They're going to do the same thing with Golden Bachelorette. When it gets down to the final 3, they'll do the tell-all. They'll do the same little cliffhanger sandwich, and I'm going to fall for it again. And I'm just admitting defeat here. It's going to happen. I'm okay with it. I'm done adding fuel to this fire. It is what it is. I'm your little puppet, and I will show up every day.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that one commercial where the guy has the fishing rod and the little dollar is like, oh, you almost had it there. Oh. And that's what they do. They're toying with the audience. They're toying with everybody. Like, oh, you think you're going to see it? Oh, we'll come back. I know you're just a cog on the wheel. And we control you. My little minions.
And then it works.
Yeah.
And then we do it. And there's nothing we can do about it. They own us.
Not that dramatic. At the end of the day, same with what they did last season with this. Mm-hmm. It's when, what was it? Who was going to Joey's room? Or
I think it was Kelsey. She just wanted to write a note. It was a note.
Yeah, it was the note that he left.
We need to talk. I think Kelsey left it for Joey, right?
Yeah, and that's all it was, and that was a cliffhanger that led to the woman tell all, and it was just like nothing. We were like, oh,
ridiculous. So like you said, it was nothing. Devin goes and says, "Hey, I need you to say I love you," and Jenn was like, "Okay, I love you." That was it. It was really cute. I'm downplaying it a little bit. It was a very cute moment between them. Outside of all the drama of even like outside noise, that in a vacuum, very cute I love you moment. If it does end up being Devin, that's a beginning of the tape scene right there. I thought it was very cute.
Yeah, it was cute, but like kind of a letdown drama wise.
All right, speaking of drama, let's do it. Let's get into some of our favorite parts of this franchise, the Men Tell All. Finally, we made it here. Some of our favorites are back on screen. Some of our favorites not there. Shockingly, no Austin.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that he's not there, actually, considering how much social media love he got. Mm-hmm. Someone just get arrested outside your building?
Yeah, but the cops going crazy. Chirac.
Yeah, who stood out to you that was there? Who wasn't there? Attendance-wise, what stood out?
First thing for sure that stood out was, I guess they made Ricky seem like the man made hometowns. Bro got as much screen time as Jeremy, damn near. Honestly, like Ricky got so much screen time, and Brian, Ricky was night oneer. I think he was the only night oneer there that was there besides Brett. But we knew Brett was gonna be there. He was loved by too many people. But Ricky was a night oneer that was there, and just random. Like I think it was like we have one more extra spot, and we want to slap Austin more in the face and invite a guy that went home night one. I don't know. or is he a replacement? Like some guy ditched last second, but we still have this chair out and we can't just move this chair. I don't know how Ricky was there, to be honest.
Unbelievable. No offense to Ricky, but like you
yeah, no
couldn't have
offense.
been there.
But like, hey, congrats, you were there, you made it. We didn't get the invite, so maybe we're just salty.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of that whole audience, and I want to call Bachelor Nation. We're big on representation. We have to do better across the board. That whole audience was a bunch of chicks. There are
Yeah.
almost no dudes in that audience. I don't feel represented by the men tell all audience. And
same.
if you want to do better, Bachelor Nation, Bachelor producers, if you want to do better representation wise, we're here. We're waiting.
Yeah.
Give us the call. We'll on our own dime. We'll do it. What's his face style? What was the guy's name?
What was his name?
What was the ex's? We already forgot his name. Oh no.
We
X.
called him
We called
Matty
him Matty
Smokes.
Smokes.
Matty
Yeah,
Smokes.
Matty Smokes. We'll pull Matty Smokes on our own dime. We'll fly out there. We'll be there. We need more representation of dudes who watch this franchise because we're out there. The boyfriends who watch with their girlfriends, we're out there. So, just saying, give us a call. We'll be there next time. Thank you for that. So, we need to do better there because I looked at that audience. It was either people who
Yeah.
were on the show or a bunch of girls.
Yeah. But no other shocks of people that I do want to say the fact that they used Austin in some of the bloopers, but not him, not invite him. That was a little fucked up too.
Yeah, where were Ricky's bloopers? None.
He didn't have a single one.
It wasn't there because he wasn't on this. You could have told he could have been there and said like, "Oh, we tricked you. He wasn't actually on the season." I would have thought about it for a second.
I've been like, if I didn't do a PowerPoint on him, I think I probably would have. I could believe that.
All right, Ben tell all. Then we get into Aaron. It's kind of started with him basically telling everybody that they weren't ready to fall in love, and then his own brother just saying, "Nah, dude, chill."
Yeah. I was one. Did he actually do flight school? Do we know this? Like, how long is flight school? I feel like school was a long time. Maybe this was part of, maybe that whole thing when I said like, oh, I think it was fake and they like made that up for him to leave or whatever. Maybe that's true. I'm not gonna lie. He's been posting a lot on social media and I don't think you can get, grande Starbucks drinks and be doing that in the army with in flight school, or at least maybe.
Yeah, you would think in that situation that they would address why he left the show because he's self-eliminated.
Yeah.
He left, and they didn't bring it up once. So that begs the question: was it all a ruse? Was it all made up? Plant. Who made the phone call? Show us the phone records. Who made the call?
Yeah.
Open the books, ABC. Show us the emails.
They deleted the emails for sure.
It was funny though seeing his brother call him out. We're like, dude, that's such an older brother thing to do, dude. You're like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
And I loved when he called out Spencer, and then literally everybody, even the crowd, was like, "What the fuck?" Like everybody was like, "What? That is the last like person like you can name." And then he was like, "Yeah, I was watching your one-on-one, and your ex-fiance. You were talking about it being vulnerable, and that's why." And I was like, "That is." And even Spencer said, like, that's the opposite. Yeah. Like, I was opening up. Like, what?
Aaron was doing what we do every week, where we watch the show and just assume things. Aaron actually knows Spencer.
Yeah. Like that, yeah, they actually were there and in real time. So that was kind of wild. I do sometimes I wish the men tell all was after the final rose. Mm-hmm. Because I kind of wish Devin was there.
Oh, Devin not being there was a travesty.
What was very tragic because we could have had him and Sam and drama, even out there, but we didn't. And Aaron B, because Aaron B was calling out Devin too, and the fact to call Devin out when he's not even there, you didn't have to mention his name.
We did have Sam N, kind of. I would say one of the better redemption arcs of the tell-all. He was very self-aware and made fun of himself for the situation. He said, probably jumped the gun, shot my shot, and I totally missed. So I could appreciate him taking accountability there. All the guys still just upset that he said that, and they were almost way too eager to see him strip. They like wanted to see him get naked and strip, which was a little interesting.
Yeah, and he was in that leather jacket. He pulled up with the leather jacket,
Oh,
and I was like,
the denim jacket, you mean?
no. Oh yeah, the black denim jacket, of course. No, but he pulled up in the leather jacket, and I was like, that's really cool. Which kind of kills the conspiracy of the producers gave him that to wear, and like, yo, wear this leather jacket and just like be a fucking douchebag for the night. But yeah, it was good to see him. He kind of saved face with Paradise, I would say. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a Paradise push for sure. Next up, they did our thing. They did the main thing montage. We knew it was going to come. We knew it was be a part of this in some capacity. While it was happening, I still thought there was a small chance we get a plug. Not us personally. I thought Jesse was going to make a side remark, kind of like I predicted, where he'd be like, it's even on T-shirts or something like that. Just a side, like, bar moment like that. We didn't get it. Obviously, they probably would have cut it anyways if Jesse did say that, if anyone mentioned it.
He probably did. We'll give him the benefit of
Yeah.
that.
No, let's give them all the benefit. I bet Jeremy mentioned it too, and they just cut it. So thank you, Jeremy and Jesse, for maybe or maybe not mentioning us. We appreciate it. And those are still available. If you want to get one, please help support the show. We appreciate it. And then Jenn dropped one too. Jenn, for the first time, said the main thing was the main thing, which shout out Jenn, fan of the show. She's been watching. Love you, Jenn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She probably said it too. So we'll give her props too. Yeah, that montage was great. Kind of knew it was coming. I think they had more, but they just only showed like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I was like, they've got to have more. But then they cut to other of his like sayings, like his ferocious, which was good. I'm glad that they did that. Then I was kind of shocked that in the Men Tell All they were even talking about Daisy and Maria.
Yeah.
Like, what was going on?
Jen's backstage.
Yeah, and they're talking about that, and they keep that in too. I'm like, they could have talked about it at the Men Tell All and kind of just like cut it, but like, wow, they talked about it, kept it. It was very interesting, great drama. I loved watching it.
Which Jeremy, the pot stirrer, he's the one who brought it up.
Yeah, Jeremy did bring it up. That's kind of ballsy of him to do, but hey, that's what he does.
Jeremy, let's talk about Jeremy for a second, because he dominates Sam M anytime they're in a room together. He's never lost, undefeated. I put that on my story, LeVar Ball, undefeated, never lost against Sam M, because he just owns them. When a team just owns another team, for some reason he has Sam M's number, and he just catches dub after dub after dub when going against him. It's awesome.
Kind of like the Packer Viking dynamic.
What are we doing? What are we doing? The Vikings have won NFC North more recently than the Packers have. So let's walk that one back.
And a Super Bowl too.
What are we doing here? We're 40 minutes in. We're having a good time. We're hanging out.
Sorry, I just needed to add a little jab in there. All right.
Whatever.
Please. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. But then they cut to Charity and Dotun during that Maria and Daisy talk. Great reaction from Charity and Dotun. Like literally perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Sam M gets called up on the hot seat, and he kind of takes his ass chewing pretty well, I think. He still refuses to take a little bit of accountability. And then when he does take accountability, when Jenn comes back out, he praises himself for taking accountability. He said, oh, when I was up there, I took a lot of accountability. So he walked it right back. It's so hard to keep up with him sometimes. But I will give Jesse credit. We've talked about him kind of having a great couple days. He pushed back. Normally, Jesse sits back and just lets it play out. He kind of gave Sam M the look of like, dude, you came across disingenuous. I know you're saying the right things to me, but come on, dude. He egged it on a little bit and pushed back against Sam M, which I appreciate from Jesse. He read the moment well. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Do you think Sam M is going to be in Paradise?
I honestly, I think ABC. You don't think he wants to?
I don't think he wants to go on television again. I think it's one of those things.
He shouldn't.
Yeah.
If he's smart, he should stay far away from television. I think ABC tried their hardest today to help redeem him enough to get him on Paradise. I think that was their goal, to give them the open door if they want to go down that route. Because if they just like fully, I don't know. I think there was a way they could have done it where there was no way. I think they kind of left that door open, which is concerning. Because I don't think he will, though. I think he would say no. And ultimately, I think ABC would say no. And then we get our first ever invitation to Paradise with Jonathan. So I don't love this move.
I hated it.
It's just a weird way to do it. Also, strange if you think about it in the context of just normal life. They're saying, hey, do you want to go on a bunch of dates in 7 months? Stay single until then. When, I will note, Jonathan is at his peak popularity right now in the eyes of the world. Girls are loving him everywhere. And they say, hold up, you're under contract. Verbally agree to being on Paradise, so you have to stay single for the next 7 months.
I think he can still do what he wants, man. But if anything, it's like I have to be single. So he could kind of go crazy these next 7 months and still just be like, sorry, can't. You knew I was going on Paradise.
But what if he turns it down? That what if he finds a girl, settles down, and
well,
I also
that would help his negotiation to get more money from them to go on Paradise, 100%. Because now the fans are expecting him on Paradise, and if he's like, dude, I don't really want to go, he'll be like, pay me more.
I'm still holding out for him and Jenn to end up together. I don't know how this season ends. I have some thoughts.
He did seem very in love with her. Still,
she walked out in that dress.
And he said that. I'm like, well, you don't really say that to somebody that you know is engaged to one of your friends, and you don't really say that unless you're still got some feelings. And it wasn't that long ago, and then he brought up the other 2 dresses and stuff.
Yeah, he's in love with Jenn.
He's got memories about those things. So
imagine your buddy's fiance walks into a room and then you say, hey, these are the 3 dresses you look the hottest in.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. Yeah. But, the fiance wasn't there,
which makes me think
there's no probably
fiance.
Watching on TV.
Which makes me think there's no fiance because he would know.
That's conspiracy right there.
I think that
are we going to see
confirmed.
Jenn and Jonathan rekindle on the beach?
Dude, that's what I want. I don't think if you're Jonathan, and unless he doesn't know, which is doubtful at this point, considering he was in the final 3, I think you know, how it is portrayed or how it ends up. You don't say, hey, these are the 3 dresses you look the hottest in if they're happy in a relationship. If when Charity walked out, there was no way Sean was going to be like, hey, by the way, these are the 3 dresses you look the hottest in while Dotton's backstage. There's no way. So
yeah, that's a good point.
That seals the deal for me. I don't think she's engaged.
I think it could just be just complimenting, still friends, but obviously there's still some feelings there. But regardless, I'm excited to see Jonathan on the beach. I'll be honest.
Our little medium king. Did you like that line from Jenn?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of coined that phrase a bit. I think in my life, I know a lot of medium kings. I would probably consider myself medium king as well. Dude, I'm literally Jonathan's height. I'll bet you back to back I'm taller than Jonathan.
I knew that would get a reaction.
But because the fucking tone you said yes was stupid. You know that.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
That was God.
Mike, you're a little medium king.
That was I guess that was payback for the Vikings.
Yeah, now we're even. We're getting out because we have a fantasy draft tomorrow. We got to focus on.
That's true.
Last thing from the tell-all I have written down is they have our 10 minutes of we have to kill time. So they left this Hakeem bit in for let's put the spider back on Hakeem, and his reward for letting us terrorize him is, hey, here's another ticket to paradise. ticket punched.
Yeah, it's crazy. I always thought Hakeem had a chance to go on Paradise because he was rising in fame, but now I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He got the second ticket to Paradise, and I'd be shocked if Brett's not invited. To be honest,
Yeah.
like how popular he is, he's getting invited. It's insane. I think I'm really looking forward to Paradise, and we still have a whole other batch of dudes and chicks that are going to be on Paradise, and I can't wait for when we do our How to Save Paradise episode. Which we should probably do it before they even film Paradise, just in case the producers see it.
You're right.
Because they will. Because I've got some great ideas.
Let's go.
Of how to save
I think it's
Paradise.
gonna be a massive season. I think it's gonna be the most watched season they've ever had.
They've got to take it. They've got to take the summer back from Love Island USA. Because right now, Love Island USA.
Honestly,
just look at Leah's Instagram. It's insane. She's got like 5 million freaking followers.
It wouldn't shock me if they switch up the schedule and try to do that for next summer. So that it wouldn't shock me if they go Golden Bachelorette, film Paradise earlier, like during the Bachelor season, and then air it in the summer. And they do Grant season, Bachelor in Paradise, then Bachelorette next year.
You think they're gonna try to air it during Love Island USA? I think they've got to pick either before or after. That'd be ballsy.
Knowing that how that franchise works, they want to stomp all the competition. So I wouldn't put it past them to air that in the summer. But who knows?
They need to listen to our advice.
Yeah. Well, Hakeem, speaking of him, one of the hardest I laughed this whole episode was when they stayed on him during the what was it, Mormon Wives show, which looked absolutely insane. But the producers just stayed on Hakeem reacting the whole time. I want Hakeem to react to anything. He should have a cameo set up where he can just be sent clips and he just reacts to them. He would make so much money. I would send him clips of this podcast to react to. I would pay him a good amount of money. Hakeem, friend of the program, if you're listening, I would pay him a good amount of money just to watch him react to a full episode of us. Like imagine a Hakeem cam just like right here.
It's kind of like, you know, when you're doing TikToks and you have the Subway Surfers at the bottom.
It's Hakeem.
Because people got short attention spans, we just have Hakeem at the bottom.
I might
reacting to it.
I might write Hakeem a check and say, just send me an hour of super crazy reaction shots, like an hour, so I can just put it in the corner of every episode we do. It's just, it doesn't even match up to what we're saying. It's just Hakeem reacting to random things. Be so good.
Yeah.
I need that to happen.
That's funny.
So yeah, Hakeem's going to Paradise. I do, now that I'm thinking about it, it would be fun if they start punching tickets to Paradise like one by one, like they do for like March Madness.
Oh, I was gonna say like they do for, you know, when you get invited to the U.S. Olympic team and like Grant Hill shows up your door with your USA jersey, or like when you're getting to like the Hall of Fame and they come and give you your gold jacket.
Jesse Palmer shows
That's
up.
what they should do
with like a Speedo.
Yeah, with like a Speedo or like a bikini. And he's like, "Come to the beach." They should do that too. I think to get the hype though, they need to bring the hype during the winter and spring too.
I think you slowly roll out who's going to be on Paradise. I think one by one. So I don't hate that idea. So we got 2 tickets punched. I think it's going to be a big cast. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for the next announcement. If you had to guess, who would be the next one to say yes?
Well, they'd probably get chicks.
Yep, I have one in mind.
So, first one that comes to my mind is Leia and Rachel.
Rachel is my. I think she would be a good.
Really close
good
right now too, so I think that could be an easy 2 you knock out right there.
Yeah,
I think that would be 2 great gets, and then throw Jess in there too while you're at it.
Might as well. What else do you have for the tell-all before we do final predictions?
I guess I had a quote Jesse when Grant was out there, like he was like, "Get ready to take a lot of showers. Bachelor Nation loves a good lather." And the way Jesse said it, I was like, "Oh God, oh God!" And then all the reactions were like, "Yeah!" Really kind of creepy, honestly.
Yeah,
it was pretty creepy. But hey.
Let's talk about Grant for a second.
Yeah,
we
next Bachelor.
Yeah, next Bachelor. We didn't talk about him at all because we're focused on this season. Grant, I like Grant. I think he's gonna do well as a Bachelor. I think he's got a long ways to go when it comes to the social media side of things.
Yeah.
It's tough. And again, we want Grant to succeed because if Grant succeeds, we succeed as a show. So his social media is coming across very, very produced. And what was the one I sent you guys where it was like, oh, there was one rough moment he had.
I was just I went to his new Instagram. His trades one. Where's
Oh no, yeah, he posted just a blank story, and he said, "If y'all rock with me, go like my comment under his post. Can't wait to find my wife." It's just a little corny. There's nothing wrong with being corny. Joey was very corny. A lot of people are corny on this show. I think Grant, you're smoother than that. I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna hold you to a higher standard. I think he can do better. I really do.
Yeah. Wait, did he delete his like account? You know that like trading account he
Oh
opened?
yeah.
I can't find it anymore.
Oh no. Did
Did they make him delete it?
No, that's crazy.
'Cause
Honestly, I
I
thought
went
like,
on
hey,
it and I was like, dude, I'm gonna try to be a day trader like Grant. That'd be sick. He's been posting his winnings and he's like,
yeah.
he's bringing in bang, and he's like just finished at like 8 a.m. and he's like going on a run now.
Yeah, it's just
That seems like the fucking life.
he does seem like very happy to be the Bachelor, and like in a little kid type of way, which is good. That's what you want.
Yeah.
So,
He's very. I liked how he said he was going to focus on his emotional intelligence, like as his preseason training or whatever.
Yeah, Aaron's got some books for him if he needs some reading. All right, predictions for next week. We're wrapping up this season, 3-hour finale. So it'll be next Tuesday. So this episode, the final recap reaction, will be out next Wednesday. Is this a Devin? Is this a Devin masterclass? Is he gonna pull this thing out?
I think he is. The whole thing with I can't let you propose to me. I think that is to Devin, and I think they end dating, and then he proposes after the final rose, and she says yes. So like during the live thing.
I'm gonna say I think it is
prediction.
My prediction is the I can't let you propose to me is to Marcus, and it's because she thinks Marcus is only doing it because he feels like he has to, because Marcus hasn't gotten to the point, but Marcus feels like that's the next step, that I have to do it for the show. So Jen is like, I can't let you do it because I know you're not there yet.
Yeah.
I do think, though, I don't know how some wraparound way she ends up with Devin, but I don't think it lasts. I think, because, again, I'm going back to the Jonathan thing. You don't say that to someone who's engaged, that if you know she's engaged. Then I think they do what they did with Rachel and Avon after her and Tino broke up, where they're like, is there a chance this could work out? Actually, they won't do that because they already offered Jonathan Paradise.
Yeah.
Never mind. But they should do that because I'm still rooting for Jonathan and Jen. I hope that works out somehow.
Then Jen's the first ticket booked to Paradise.
Oh, can you imagine? That would be a moment in Bachelorette history. That would be fun.
That would get the hype for Paradise, but it would also kind of put a bad light on the Bachelorette process, like not working and stuff like that, and kind of making it a joke and really hoping Grant and saves it / go back to kind of like an older lead, I think. But that would really get the hype going, I think, for Paradise.
Yeah, I agree. Well, all right, folks, we will see you guys next week for our finale recap. And we'll keep this thing moving. We got Golden Bachelorette around the corner. And wish us luck on our fantasy draft tomorrow. And again, please keep Lizzie and her family in your thoughts and prayers. We'd really appreciate it. Thank y'all. See y'all next week. God bless. Peace.